Well, we are down. I mean, we are down to almost the last couple of segments of the night, and I am so excited to introduce. Not only are you my goddaughter, not only have I known you since you were 17, not only have I covered you in seasons where you needed to be covered, Amen. But I am so excited to introduce you as my makeup artist and hair extraordinaire, Angel Light. Angel, can you tell us your journey to hair, makeup, and all things fabulous?
Okay, so hi. First of all, can we just send some clapping emojis? Can we put some hearts going on? Did you guys enjoy Pastor Mona's looks on today? What is your favorite look? I just want to say, I got to take some credit because, girl, I slayed you out. We was up
you
there.
You slayed me. You slayed me, yes.
So to talk about my journey, so we met when I was 17, and as we've said numerous amount of times, it was always weird for me to come back and meet with you. And so I actually started off as a fashion designer in 2010, 2011, and I remember meeting with you, and I shared with you that dream I had, and you were like, Angel, you're so talented, you're so amazing, you need to put something under your belt. I was like, well, I do know how to do hair and makeup. And you were like, perfect. And I remember you took me on a tour. And first of all, rewind, the day we were supposed to go, you called me and you were like, if you're not serious about this, I just want you to know that I carved out some time for you and like pretty much bit my head off. And I was like, I'm getting ready. I'm almost done. And I remember, I just remember the day so clearly. You brought me to 3 schools, and the last school you showed me literally was the school for me. It was beautiful, all things fabulous. And I remember from there, I was in beauty school for a couple of months, graduated, got my license. And I remember there was I think it was a women's conference. No, we went on a trip to Brockton. You did the event with Roberson, Sophie.
Oh,
Yep.
Brave. Was it Brave? No, it was
I can't
something.
remember.
Yes,
it was a conference that they had, and I remember we sold your books that day, and I remember we went and I did your makeup there for the first time, and we had a side room. We did our little thing, and then from there it was like it took off. I remember I did your makeup for conferences, and it went from me doing your hair and makeup within like an hour and a half, to like literally 15 minutes.
Yes.
I remember Sundays, I'd come here early, you would show up, and you'd be like, I need to get down for worship. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't have that much time. But so I would literally, I learned your face, and I learned to beat it down.
In 5 minutes.
In 5 minutes.
The 5
hair
minute
and
face.
everything.
Yes.
I mean, all of it. So, doing hair, doing makeup, for me, it's like another outlet as a creative to be able to express myself through colors, through textures, and meet awesome people. If you know me like you do, I talk a lot. So it's like it's a beautiful place to be. So being able to put my gifts in the kingdom of God and serve under you, doing your hair, doing your makeup, making sure you look crisp, is like it's a joy for me. And we have so much fun doing hair and makeup.
Well, the funny thing is that, through, journeying through life together, you have really been responsible for my overspending in makeup and hair. Like, let's you're always calling me like, oh, did you see this product? Oh, did you see this? And I'm like, I don't need anything else. Please do not call me with another product. Thank you very much.
I know, or I show up with it, like that one palette.
Oh yeah, that palette's a good palette.
Oh yeah, we use that one still.
We use it all the time.
Yes.
But your journey as a creative for not just beauty, hair and makeup, but you've also been a person that has worked alongside of me for the last 4 or 5 years.
It's been a while.
It's been about 5 years.
It's been a nice while.
Yeah, it's been a ride. It's been a ride. But I loved, the thing about you, Angel, and I know that we're talking beauty and fashion, but I thought it would be great to bring mentorship in as well,
Yes.
is that as a young woman, I remember the days that you would come and you'd come with your notebook. We had appointments every single week,
Yep.
and you would faithfully get all your assignments done.
Yep.
And I believe it's your diligence that has really propelled you into, the businesswoman that you are today.
Thank you.
A lot of people say that they want mentors, but then they don't want to do the work.
Yeah.
And so to watch you grow, and we've been through.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
whenever you're in a relationship with someone, it doesn't matter the age. But I can recall our conversation about 3 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
And we had a great conversation in terms of, yes, I've been in your life for the last 10 years, but now that you're married, now, you're a woman, actually, you've turned 27.
I'm a whole
You're
adult.
a whole 27. And, we talked about, what does our relationship look like now? And I think that's important in any mentor relationship, that at some point, the relationship should reach a point where, you are two adults that are sharing,
Yeah.
that are interchanging life,
Yeah.
and that the respect is there both ways.
Yeah, I really appreciated that conversation. Like, we've had tons of conversations leading up to that point, but I feel like with that one, it really felt like we were trying to figure out where we were. Not that it was a bad space or anything like that, but it was like, hey, you're not the 17-year-old I knew when we first met. You're not a 20-year-old. You're 27. You're married now. I'm going into, I think, my second year of marriage. I'm saying it as if I've been married for like 10 years, right? But just to be able to just be just front on, real, and just raw, and very understanding on both sides. To even talk about the mentorship part. When I was 17, I didn't really think I was seeking out a mentor. Like, I knew I had one when I was younger, but then, meeting you and Pastor Matt, and then I don't know why I just wanted to keep coming. I think it was because somebody cared. You cared about what I was going through. Not saying that my mom didn't, or, my friends or my siblings or anything, but it was like, it was different. God does things in miraculous ways.
Right.
Like, to be able to say, I came, I submitted myself to God, I was accountable, and to see how he has taken my life and changed it around for his good and, for his glory. It's like, I'm like at shock. But then I'm just like, to see us, I really want that for other women and other young girls. And I love, like, for example, the Rise Girls program, how we have the young girls and then we have, people pouring into them. Like, that's how it should be.
Well, back to all things beauty.
Yes.
Because I think one of the things, the kind of person that I am, I really can't, and you know me well enough to know this, just having anyone put makeup on me, I feel like when you're wearing makeup or someone is doing your hair, that it's a very spiritual journey.
Yes.
Because that person is in your face, on your face, in your hair, on your hair.
Yeah.
And so for me, having a person that I know really cares about me, wants the best for me, wants me to show up the way that I want to be perceived. I think that's an important part of makeup application.
Yep.
Because sometimes people wear makeup and you see the makeup before you see them.
Yeah.
And so can you just talk a little bit about, what makeup should do for a person, especially in this season where there are so many young girls that are, wearing makeup at 10 and
8,
11. Yeah,
so
very
young.
young. So what would you say, makeup application should be?
So with makeup application, it really should just be enhancing. It really shouldn't be recreating your face. You know what I mean? It should just be, bringing out your eyes, shaping your cheekbones, really showing up like fully loaded. It's like the fully loaded version of yourself.
I like that, the fully loaded version of yourself.
Yeah, because, a lot of people wear makeup, to, cover blemishes, hide like scarring and stuff like that, which is amazing because, let's be honest, nobody likes seeing those things all the time. And all power to you if you're more natural, much respect. But it really is to enhance how you look. The more polished you look, you feel good. I feel like with makeup, it's also an artistry because some people, they're amazing at makeup and they might not be a painter. So for me, what I think makeup should really do is enhance. It should also, add on to the confidence you already have. When I go out and I don't wear makeup, I'm still bold, beautiful, fantastic. I don't feel like, I'm less than or anything. Even when I talk to clients or talk to some of my friends that want makeup advice, I'm like, listen, you have beautiful skin. Sometimes you don't want to get all into makeup because that might get, unless you have a really good skincare routine, don't even touch it. Because I've slept with makeup on and I paid the price. Even today, I have this little pimple right here and I'm like, why? Like, why? Like, how did that even get there? So just to enhance how you look, feel polished and be fully loaded.
Well, speaking of skincare, before we bring up our style experts, we traveled one time.
Oh, yes.
And we were doing a conference. And so when we got to the hotel, I had all of my skincare. And
Whole store.
I had a whole store, and you had your skincare.
A mini mart.
A mini mart, yes. And so when we put all of our stuff out, my stuff literally took up 3/4 of the counter, and you had this little quart, and we laughed so hard. And we took a picture of it, and I kept saying to you, I said, Angel, the older you get, if you want to have this kind of skin, your little quarter is going to start increasing on this side.
And listen, let's give it up for your skin because, listen, honey, 53?
That's right.
And it looks good on you, okay?
Yes, because I have all of those products.
Yes.
I have stuff for my under eyes, stuff for my over eyes, stuff for my forehead, my cheekbones, everything. But one of the things that we do that I don't think people are aware of is that we really plan, because I think makeup also requires planning. So can you just talk about how we, kind of attack, like even today, we had a plan of action for hair and makeup. And so just talk about that a little bit.
So when planning your looks or anybody's looks, especially if it's going to be, recorded on video and stuff like that, it's always great to have a plan to know what looks you want to go for, your outfits and all that. So with what we did today, we builded you up. Like we started off very natural, because once you put on all those, layers of makeup, you can't really take them down. So, clean face, even foundation, a little contour. Next stage, add some lashes, a little glow, a little concealer, build it up. That way you kind of build up your look. You don't feel heavy throughout the whole day, especially if you're recording all day or if you're, running errands. You want to be able to plan it out and really choose the right products because you want to make sure your products last throughout the day, and they're compatible with other products. So I've been doing your makeup for so long. I know what products work good together, and I know what products could be used at another time. In how should I say, when working with hair and makeup, you also have to keep in mind some hairstyles don't go with the makeup look. So planning that in advance better prepares you for your final product.
Yes. Well, thank you so much. It's been amazing. I know I have really tortured you.
Yes, you have.
Sitting in the chair
and she's
like,
saying
come
it
on,
publicly.
come on, I got to get out of here. And even, your, push in the times that I don't feel like wearing makeup or getting my hair done, and you're like, come on, you're about to do this. And I think that when you are doing conferences, when you are doing things that are in the public, you want to show up as your best self.
Yes, fully loaded.
Fully loaded. I love that. Fully loaded. You want to show up. And so you've been incredible. Your growth, your skill, and your knowledge, it continues to amaze me. And so I really thank you. And we're so excited because we're bringing up two style experts, young women that are up and coming in the fashion world, very different. And I think that's one of the things about, the Dash Takeover is that we are celebrating each other's differences.
Yeah.
Because there are no two people that are the same. And I think a lot of times, sometimes we look at people and we're like, I want to be like them. And fully loaded.
You got to show up fully loaded.
Show up fully loaded.
Okay, and own
Yes.
it.
Own it.
Own it.
Yes. Own who you are. So I'm going to bring up Tanya and Naomi. And I'm so excited to have you guys join us. When you sit down, let's hear a little bit about you. Oh, these shoes are really cute. I like this look. So why don't you introduce yourself, Naomi, and tell us, a little bit about yourself and what you do, and then we'll hear from Tanya, and we'll get right into this.
Well, my name is Naomi, again. So basically what I do is I'm a personal stylist. I work with anybody, basically, that wants to be styled by me. And my role as a stylist is just really to make you look good, feel good, and to also encourage you. So that's what I do. That's kind of like what I do on the side. But I also work in the healthcare field as well.
Thank you. And Tanya?
Hello. So excited to be here. So I recently graduated. So I'm an architectural designer and also a personal stylist. I recently became a personal stylist, and it's been really good. Like Naomi said, we just want to make people feel good, usually work with a vision for a shoot, or if it's more personal, like just a closet cleanse. That's what I've been doing so far.
Well, let's talk about the closet cleanse. I like that
Because
word.
I've been with you and your closet cleanses. Okay?
Yeah.
So when I think of a closet cleanse, especially in the quarantine, a lot of us are cleansing our closet.
Yeah.
And so what does that really mean, to cleanse your closet?
So, first of all, it's removing things that are not needed, right? Because a lot of the times we just keep on packing on things. You might have something that you bought in like 2003. What's it still doing in your closet? Like, you don't need it, you don't wear it, so what's the point of having it in your closet? It's just creating so much clutter that it makes it so hard for you to dress up in the morning because there's so much distraction going on. Whereas if you take those things out, if you begin to cleanse, you're left with what you actually need. Because you get so confused when there's so much confusion in your closet. So that's the cleanse.
Wow. So how do you approach styling a client?
Well, it usually depends on the client in particular. So let's say if it's a shoot, for example, I usually start off with a vision. So I start off with a mood board. So it doesn't necessarily have to be clothes, it could be just aesthetics, like how the shoot would feel, like what the atmosphere would be, the ambiance. So I start off with that. And then from there, we start to look at looks, looking at, what kind of look are we going for? Is it more sophisticated? Is it a play look? Like what kind of look are we going for? So it depends on the type of shoot that we'll be going for. So that's usually how I go about for a fashion shoot.
And in terms of your own personal closet cleanse and styling yourself, what are some of the things that you look for yourself?
So for me, I think my style has been changing. I think I'm becoming a bit more daring. I really enjoy playing around with different pieces. Like I'm just starting to get really comfortable with more unconventional pieces. Like I'll wear something that maybe someone might not typically wear. Like they may not really reach out for it when they see it in the store. But if I see something and it's a bit quirky, I'm like, this is interesting. Like, maybe let me try and play around with it. So that's how my style has kind of been evolving.
Do you think looking for interesting pieces has anything to do with being an architect? Like, are you looking for architectural design to show up in your clothing?
I think it does have like a really, like if I look at what I have, most of the things I own are very structural. Like what I'm wearing right now, like it's very like structured. And I like things like that. And with architecture, it's all about that, like lines, structure, movement, fluidity, and that's typically what I wear. So I guess my eye is kind of in tune with things like that. So I'm drawn to things like that too.
Okay. And Neme, so you have come to my house and have helped me with a closet cleanse, or so we thought.
Yes.
Right? And so, like, explain what you did when you came over.
I think when, we approached the closet cleanse, I think a lot of it had to do with what pieces could still be reused. Tanya kind of mentioned the closet cleanse, but you might have some old pieces that you still really love, and you just really need to know how to recreate it. So I think just taking the approach of finding those pieces that you love and knowing how to make them work for you in this present time. So that way you can kind of repurpose it. Because the thing with like fashion is that there's always gonna be trends, and a lot of trends are recycled. So things that you probably wore in 2000s are probably relevant right now. They're just making a comeback, and just finding a way to repurpose that item and make it work for you in this present time. And I think that's kind of what we took, that kind of approach is what we took when we did the closet cleanse, and kind of just making sure that the pieces were able to be repurposed and create something great out of it.
So when you are, dressing for yourself, how do you approach finding your personal style?
Well, I don't think I wouldn't say that I would categorize my style as one specific type, but I do like to look for interesting pieces, and I kind of work around that. I like to play with color. I like funky pieces that are a little bit different, like even my earrings, or I like to play with patterns. And once I find like a piece that I like, then I'm gonna get that piece and just make it work for me. But that's really my approach. I just like to, I think my eye gets drawn to certain items that are just different, that, like Tanya kind of said, you may not see somebody else wear that piece. And you're just like, oh, that's different. Can it work for me? That's sort of my approach with my particular, when I style myself, I like to just find those very interesting pieces.
And when you're working with clients, what is the approach that you take when you're working with a client?
So when I'm working with clients, I do give them a questionnaire because I want to see where they're at. And I do want to take clients out of their comfort zone, but I don't want to keep them fully in their comfort zone. So I do ask them, like, what's something that kind of like draws your eye? How would you explain your style? Or what kind of look are you looking for? And I kind of have to work around that. Sometimes, like, it helps if, like, if they have a social media page, I'll kind of like sift through it and see, maybe some of the things that they've worn before, and use that as a guide to, try something new with them, but still make sure that they're comfortable in their skin. Because at the end of the day, when you style someone, you can try to style them like yourself, but you want to make sure that they're fully comfortable in what they're wearing and that they feel confident. So I really do take that approach of trying to make sure that I take them out their comfort zone, but not like
Too far.
too far.
Yes. So as we come to a close, if all of you could think of, as we are in this Dash Takeover, this day where women have carved this, 12 hours away for themselves, and they are trying to learn, time management, organization, relationships, and now here we are in the fashion and beauty segment. What is one thing that you would say to women in terms of, the full look, hair, makeup, style? What piece of advice would you give?
I think my approach is usually I just like to look put together. I feel like my style is a representation of who I am and sometimes who I'm aspiring to be. If I'm not fully feeling bold, I want my outfit to show that I'm bold because I'm trying to show what it is that I want to be. So I kind of give that advice to other people as well. Don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone, try new things. And really what you're rocking is your confidence. So just continue to rock your confidence, stay encouraged. Sometimes even when you're trying new stuff, just affirm yourself. Sometimes I have to go into my mirror and affirm myself like, girl, you look beautiful, even when I might not necessarily feel it. So just rocking your confidence.
That's a great piece of advice. And I love how you said, even when you're not feeling it, look in the mirror and say, girl, you got this.
Right.
Like I have that in my vlog room on my door. It says, well, over my door, and I'm over the top and I don't care. Over my door, it says, be fabulous. So every time I walk out the door, I'm like, girl, you are fabulous. And then when I look over there on the other side, it says, you are gorgeous. And then when I look on the door, it says, you got this, girl. So,
Right.
having all of those affirmations are so powerful, even when you're not feeling it, because you may not feel it all the time.
Right.
So that was some really great advice. And girl, you look beautiful today.
Thank you.
I love the skirt. I love the leopard print on the. I mean, it's just you got it.
Thank you.
And those earrings, are those H&M?
No, these are actually some really cheap earrings. I probably paid like $3 for them.
They are fabulous.
Yeah.
I love those. What advice would you give, Angel, for women that are watching and they want to show up fully loaded?
So my advice would be this: from head to toe, starting with makeup, throw away anything that you haven't used within the last 2 to 1 year. One, because you are actually doing yourself a disservice by using old products. Your skin's probably gonna break out when you use them. If you look on the back of products, they actually tell you when your product expires as soon as you open it.
Are you trying to talk to me right now?
I'm talking to all of us, honey.
Okay, because I see how
even
you're
me,
looking at me.
Even me. Well, eye contact, engagement.
Yes. Mhm.
Right?
Okay. Gotcha.
So that would be my first thing. And that even goes for hair products because hair products go bad too. So you want to make sure you're getting rid of old products. Old products, you want to get rid of anything that you haven't used in a long time because they're not good. They're not good for you anymore. That's my first piece of advice. Second, don't feel as if you have to break the bank just to buy good products. Drugstore, Maybelline was one of my favorite items to have in my makeup kit for clients. And every time I bought their foundation, whether it was the dewy or matte, always looked amazing on my clients. You just have to go out there, try some things. If you don't like it, return it.
Yeah.
I feel like for women, we don't think we could return things, but I learned it from you. If it don't serve you, return it.
Yeah.
And, same thing with hair care. If it doesn't work for you and you can't return it, give it to a friend.
Yeah.
But always be intentional about what you want to put on your face, put in your hair, and even how you dress. So just like how Naomi and Tanya said, try new things out and see what works for you and then own it.
Yeah. Yes.
That's my advice, yeah.
Thank you. Own it.
So I would say definitely to tap into your inner child, because I think that as we grow up, we get so used to so many restrictions. Like at work, you have to dress like this, you have to look like that, and we get lost in the source. but the work source. So you end up finding yourself dressing like you're going to work on a Saturday, yet you're not going to work. But when we were kids, I'm sure we've all gone into our parents, like our mom's closet, to just try on some things, and it looks a mess, but it's the inner child in you just being so creative and imaginative. And I think it's very important that even when we're adults, that we should tap into that carefree imagination of just trying things on and not having a care in the world, and just see how it goes. Just be creative. They're clothes, like have fun with them. Don't let restrictions keep on being on top of you when you're not at work. So just to be carefree and be creative and be a child with your clothes.
Well, thank you. I just want to say to all three of you as we wrap up this session that, and really to those that are watching, I think it's really important, no matter what age you are, that to reach into the younger generation. I'm 53, and I have reached out to all of you and said, hey, what do you think of this? And, can you put some looks together for me? And I think that, when we really unite and come together, that it's a very powerful thing because we are all learning from each other. And life is, it's quite a journey, and it's a journey to be shared together. And whenever I've asked anything of each of you, you guys have always had a yes. And so it really is my pleasure to invite you guys to be a part and to hear the advice and the stories that you guys have just shared with women all over the world. And this Dash Takeover, as the young people will say, is pretty lit. We about to end, and we're going into our dance party. That's why I'm all dressed up, because we're about to go into this dance party and really, we're about to have a good time. And I like that you said, be carefree, because I think sometimes even in our Christian walks, we can get a little too tight. And God had a good time. When he made the lights, he made the stars, he made the moon. He made all different kinds of trees and birds and animals, and some animals look really strange. And I can just imagine him saying, oh, isn't that funny? And so, I think that when, we really have lost the Titus 2 women. And so I'm hoping this day, this Dash Takeover, with the multi-generations that we've had throughout the day, that women can walk away and say, you know what, I need to meet some more young people. I need to be a little bit more carefree, a little bit more daring, and really get into this exchange and remember the days of my youth. And so thank you guys for sharing and helping me to remember the days of my, I haven't forgotten them. I like to have a really good time. So, but thank you so much. This has been amazing. We will make sure that we put all of your social media handles up on the screen so that people can follow you and see the things that you're doing, and be launched. All right.
Thank you.
Okay, so